Guys, remember we're talking about Reformation. I spent 7 minutes there. I know I only addressed 3 questions on your handout, but I spent that much time because I wanted you to realize how corrupt the Roman Catholic Church was. They were the ones in the wrong. Even my mom, a devout Roman Catholic, would tell you during the 1500s, the Catholic Church was corrupt and that power structure had to go. It even benefited the church in the long run because it returned eventually to spirituality. All right, so let's talk about Martin Luther. Two weird things about him that you're not going to see in a book, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you straight out. Is one, he got struck by lightning, and that's why he became a monk. That's different. And two, he had a poop problem. Yeah, that's what I said. He had a meeting. He had a table in front of his little what was then a toilet because all it was just like basically a hole into the buildings, and it went down, a little pooper scooper type thing. And he had a desk in front of him, and he would actually have meetings where he was going to the bathroom. Look it up. I ain't lying to you. All right. Anyway, Roman Catholic Church stresses faith and good works needed to gain salvation. However, Martin Luther questioned that premise, and you can get into reading all the epistles of Paul in the Bible, and you can make your own judgment for it. I'm not going to pass religious judgment because that's not my job. All right, but what Martin Luther believed is that to achieve salvation is only through God. This is called justification of the faith. All right, it's in your Quizlet set. Justification of faith. God determines it. That's his belief. All right. Now, another thing that Luther radically changes about the belief system is that people should solely base their ideas and their religious truth and how they arrive at them on the Bible. Don't depend on the Roman Catholic Church. I can't say because I can't push my own judgment on this, but as an educator, maybe you shouldn't always listen to me. Maybe you should determine it for yourself too. Truth of the matter, question authority. Find out on your own. But remember, authority sometimes has knowledge that needs to be imparted. And don't be the fool who believes the first thing they always hear. Read multiple sources and make sure they are legitimate, good sources. And you can evaluate that by what is their intention. All right. So Luther became a rebel, and he upset a lot of the people. And then the one time it's all going to come into fruition and be crazy, because he was already having big problems with the Roman Catholic Church, is when Pope Leo X sent out a man named Johann Tetzel to collect indulgences. That means the forgivenesses for the sins. To me, it's nothing more than a weak way of taxing the poor, because what they were doing, they knew had issues, and they were using it to rebuild St. Peter's Basilica, not to benefit the people. And they took advantage of uneducated and poor people all the time. These indulgences were appalling. And and Martin Luther became so upset with it that this is when everything's going to hit the fan. All right. So, angered by this practice specifically, but other practices as well that he mentions, he creates a list known as the 95 Theses. Now, rumor has it he nailed it on the church door in Wittenberg, Germany. And, okay, sure, great story. We'll go with that. Whether or not that really happened or if it was just sent to the Roman Catholic diocese, probably the latter, but I like the story. It's kind of neat. The dramatic effect of makes for a great movie. So that though, straight out attack on the church by a monk. It would be the equivalent of me telling the Secretary of Education of the United States, Betsy DeVos, that she has no idea what she's doing, and here's all the reasons why. What would happen to me? You would have a different history teacher tomorrow. You know what I mean? So this is a brazen move by this young German monk. And remember, the Catholic Church kills people. I don't think Betsy DeVos does, but maybe she does. Who knows? So, unable to accept Luther's ideas and the fact that many of the German princes were buying into Martin Luther's idea and turning against the Roman Catholic Church, and they were losing influence in the Holy Roman Empire, really made things bad. So the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, very powerful man, calls for an imperial diet. That means a trial. They're going to try Martin Luther for heresy. Of course, he's going to step down and say, no, I retract everything, and everything's going to be all right, just like they did to some of the scientists like Galileo. But the truth of the matter is, what happens is when they call Martin Luther up there and tell him to retract, he does not. He stands firm in his convictions. And before the Catholic Church can capture him and torture him or do whatever they wanted to do to him and make an example out of him, he is snuck off by a man named Frederick of Saxony, and he goes into hiding. The imperial diet, the diet of worms. People want to say worms. You're going to look at it and say worms. People are eating worms because that's a diet, and they're eating worms. Diet means a court case. Worms is the name of the city, not worms, even because the Germans have that WV thing going on there. All right. So this escape, Luther goes into hiding. He translates the Bible into German. He gets the followings of some of these princes. And eventually, even the peasants who are starting to question things begin to rebel. And there's the what we call the German Peasants' War. Now, weird enough, Martin Luther does not support the German Peasants' War, probably because he likes the princes who have supported him. But the German Peasants' War plays a major role in the Reformation in that it shows these ideas are going to cause violent conflicts and a change in the power structures. All right? The German Peasants' War is put down, but it severely weakens Charles V's power in the Holy Roman Empire and thus weakens the Roman Catholic Church. Eventually, the princes conflict with the Charles V. And this time, with Charles V having a fight with the just coming off of the peasants, he has the princes revolting, he has conflicts with the Ottoman Turks, he has crap going all over the world. This is the same time that the Spanish Empire, which is technically his, even though his son's running it, is having conflicts. All this stuff going on, his men are strapped and spread out thin, and the German princes win, and in the Peace of Augsburg, Lutheranism is acceptable. The Roman Catholic Church has lost its power. Princes can freely choose in the German, what's now kind of more the German Empire, which was part of that Holy Roman Empire. They can choose freely whether they want to practice Catholicism or Lutheranism, and eventually other denominations. The Catholic power base has gone, all because of one man who had meetings where he pooped, decided he was going to post 95 theses, don't get that confused with feces, on the door, and all you know what breaks loose? The Protestant Reformation.